what's up everyone? I am Joe, and I am back with another vintage Masters of the Universe figure unboxing. It's just a delivery that I had come in. We're gonna check it out. A bunch of figures from my good friends at Eternia Dreams. This is like the third video I'm doing just about stuff that I've bought from them. Alan and the team are great. Go check them out on Facebook and Instagram at Eternia Dreams. And leave in the comments right now, when you're liking this video, leave a comment, some of your favorite Masters of the Universe figures, because we're going to be looking at, I don't know, it's a pretty full box here. So let's not waste any more time. Boom. Already cut it open. I've got, right off the bat, a little baggie of weapons. So that's going to be a lot of fun to match up and put together. And then our first figure of the day. This is a pretty packed box. So I did spend a little bit of money. We have an Evil Lyn. There's no collection that is complete without an Evil Lyn. So we have one here. She is in pretty good shape, a little loose, but that's okay. Gonna need a little fig bath, but anytime you buy a vintage figure, it's always going to need a fig bath. So that's no big deal. So boom, Evil Lyn. Alright, second figure. Okay, this is a Thunder Punch HeMan. And I love the Thunder Punch HeMan. So, oh wow. He needs to be, so Thunder Punch HeMan came out later in the line. The whole gimmick was that he has this backpack that opens up and you put caps in there, and when you would swing him around, the caps would pop and he'd make a lot of noise. I actually love this Thunder Punch HeMan. He's kind of beat up, he's not in great shape. The chest plate has some wear on it. I mean, what's the year on this? 1984, made in Mexico. What do you want? It's a 30-something-year-old figure. I really like the Thunder Punch HeMan. It's probably one of my it's probably my favorite HeMan in the whole line. There's just something about it, the coloring and whatever. I really like the Thunder Punch HeMan. So that's cool to add to the old collection. Next one up. Okay, Jitsu. Jitsu was not in this show at all. He was in this line for whatever reason. I don't want to say he's not like rare, but he's just like kind of like a weird fill in the gap guy. Has his armor plate, both pieces. I believe his weapon is in the bag as well. Notice he comes with this Fisto type karate chop golden hand, and the motion still works very well. He's in pretty good shape. This Jitsu, he is in pretty good shape. Alright, moving on. What do we got? Buzz Off. Buzz Off, our bee friend. He's got his wings. His goggles are in the weapons bag. Twisting motion, still look good. Buzz Off is in pretty good shape. Like I said, they're all gonna need a little fig bath, but that's to be expected when you buy these old figures. So cool to have Buzz Off. This looks like I just bought a bunch of guys to fill in gaps in my collection, which is really cool because there's so many dudes. And like a lot of these figures are affordable. Especially a lot of the earliest series ones, so many of them are affordable, but you need to fill in those gaps. If you get like too consumed with just the rare ones, like you just never fill in those gaps, and you need to get that done. So like even like a Jitsu, like I'm not gonna cry if I don't have a Jitsu in my collection. It's not like he's this main character. but he exists, so you need to fill that gap. This guy, however, is a must-have. Trapjaw, one of the most trademark characters, one of the coolest villains in the line, in every series that has ever been produced. Well, not New Adventures, he doesn't count. New Adventures doesn't count for anything as far as I'm concerned. But in the 200X series, the original series, Trapjaw is legit. Now, he is supposed to have a little hook on his head. That's broken. I got this really cheap. This is like kind of a beater Trapjaw, but I didn't have one. Now I do. So fill in a gap there. Really cool. Next one. A Cobra Con. Cobra Con, one of the snake men. The gimmick with him, his head pops off. You put water in it, and then he squirts water out of his mouth. Legs a little loose, but all in all, paint on him is pretty good. Very nice. Next one. One of my favorite characters. I don't know why I like this character so much. It's not like he was such a main person. He has more of a role in the 200X series. But Moss Man, and he's beat up. This is a beater Moss Man for sure. Right now he's going to be a placeholder in this collection. A lot of the flocking. Moss Man was always flocked and smelled like pine. This is a beater Moss Man. And at some point I will get a better one. And I like that. I like that it gives me the opportunity to always be improving my collection. But it's cool to have a Moss Man. I've always liked, I don't know whether it was, even as a kid, whether it was the smell or that he was flocked, and I just thought that was cool because it was different. I mean, even now, like when Funko does that with some of their pops, they release flocked pops. Like, I'm just like, oh, that's really cool. Why is flocked like a cool thing? I don't know. I just like it. And that's, I've always been into Moss Man as a kid, I guess, just because of that. One of the stalwarts of the Masters of the Universe collection, Man-at-Arms, Duncan. Have to have. It always bothered me as a kid because the figure didn't have the mustache that the character in the cartoon had. So that always bothered me, but he's got his armor, his one leg, his one arm. You gotta have a Man-at-Arms. Next one up. Oh, I didn't know I got this. Battle Armor HeMan. So Battle Armor HeMan, does it still work? Yeah, it does. Battle Armor HeMan. What's the gimmick? The breastplate. You hit it, and he shows some battle damage. Hit it again, shows more battle damage. But then you could just roll it back, and he's perfectly okay to do more battle. Battle Armor HeMan, Battle Armor Skeletor, I mean, they were just like part of it, man. They were, I think, the first kind of new releases of the He-Man and Skeletor figures. So, like, they've always been part of everything. In every wave, every release, there always comes a Battle Armor version of these guys. They're just so ingrained in the line. Oh, and this is a Roboto. Man, I don't know what they were thinking when they were just creating these characters, especially since so many of them weren't even in the cartoon. So you move Roboto, and the gears inside him swirl around. The mouth moves up and down. Pretty good shape, pretty clear. A lot of times with the Roboto figures, you get like some yellowing on the chest piece, but this one is pretty good, and I'm happy about it. He has a bigger role. Well, he's at least used in the 200X series, but this is a good looking figure, and he's cool. He stands out. It's the coloring, the fact that he's a robot, like, it's just cool. There's so many of these figures that they're, you know, they're so distinctive, and that's what makes them fun and cool. ManEfaces. Wow, this is a really good box. You know, sometimes I buy so much of this stuff and I have it come in at different times, and a lot of times too, I won't even have, like, I'll buy some stuff and not have it shipped right away, not until like the box is full, and then they'll ship it to me, so I kind of forget like what I have and what I don't have. ManEfaces, another one, stalwart of the series. He's got his laser gun, pretty good shape, obviously the gimmick. He's got many faces, so you turn this knob at the top, it still works well. He's the monster, he's the actor, he's the robot. Love a good ManEfaces. All right, from the Horde, Leech with his crossbow. I gotta be honest, I hate Leech. He's thick. I don't remember a Leech being this thick though. That's a big boy. Very thick torso piece. That looks like, you know, completely different sculpt from anything else, obviously. And he, I guess back in the 80s, he would stick to stuff. He's got this piece here. What does this do? Oh, that's, so he's got a piece on the back that I guess is supposed to make him stick when you press him into it. You know, like the old GPS. Remember when we still had to use like GPSs on the car windshield? That's a Leech. Still got a couple more to go here. Wow, this is a really good box. Because here's a Thiele. A really good looking Thiele with staff, with headpiece and shield. Really awesome. Really good looking Thiele. That's pretty sweet. Wow, this is... And we still got, what, 3 more to go? Another member of the Horde. And he looks really good too. Griz Lore with his crossbow has his harness, his chest harness, really clean, still furry. I mean, this is a really good Griz Lore. Like, really good. Wow. Obviously, more known for the She-Ra series. And we got a Webstore. So Webstore was like a spider. He's got a snapping torso. He's got his harness. The head deco with all his eyes and teeth. Pretty clean. I mean, pretty tight on the waist too. Good looking Webstore. I mean, this has been a score. This is a hell of a box. And the last one, oh, a Hordak. Speaking of the Horde, oh, he's got his cape. Crossbow here. Wow. Even, and this Hordak too, really clean, not a beater at all. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a couple in this that are beaters, and they're beaters just because I'm trying to fill in gaps in the meantime and have placeholders in the collection until I get something new or something better. But I mean, some of these figures are really, really good. This Hordak is good. The Griz Lore is great. I mean, look, I'll be perfectly honest with you. This Moss Man is pretty much a beater. Pretty much a beater. I mean, maybe it'll look better after a quick clean. You know, the flocking becomes a little bit difficult to clean, but you know, whatever. The Thunder Punch He-Man is a beater for sure, but it's something I wanted in my collection and whatever. So I bought a beater, big deal. I can always get a new one. But for the most part, the rest of them, the Trapjaw can be upgraded in the future. The Jitsu is nice. The Thiele is excellent. Evil Lyn, loose legs, no big deal. But Buzz Off, Roboto, Hordak, Webstore, Manny, even Battle Armor He-Man has a little wear to the head and the face, but it's not awful. And the nice tight legs. I mean, I'm really happy with this. How many figures we got here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 figures in one box from Eternia Dreams. This is a haul. This is a haul, and this is going to fill in so many gaps in my collection. It is wonderful. This is a really cool box. A lot of good-looking figures here. Really happy to get these cleaned up, added into the collection, and then just keep going, keep building, and keep improving on the ones I have. You know, like I said, we are going to replace some of the ones that I have as beaters. But right now, they're here and they're filling the collection. Really sweet stuff. A great selection here today. Which one was your favorite? Write in the comments your favorite figure from today's haul and your favorite figure from this line total. Start some conversations. Let's get with it. And until next time.
Thanks for watching. Please hit like and hit subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Thank you to those that already are. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter @CarJomez and subscribe to our weekly show, The CarJomez Podcast, wherever you get your favorite pods.